It's Tuesday, November 6th, and you know what that means. It's election night here in America, and that means in about 5 hours, half the country is going to be pissed off at the guy who won. Well, we're here to cheer you up tonight here on MU180.
Emmy Award-losing lead anchor Kevin Ellis, Marco Bichinich, weather, Zach Myers, sports, and your reporters from the field, Roberto Vaquero and Trayvon Wesley. It's MU180 at 7 o'clock.
Hello there, I'm Kevin Ellis. It's a day of elephants and donkeys running around with their heads cut off as the results for the 2012 presidential election will arrive in the next couple of hours, or at least we hope. However, there is still 1 hour left to vote here in the great state of Wisconsin, so in case you're still a little undecided and you did feel like voting for, or you didn't feel like voting for one of the major party candidates, then look no further, because here are some of the other candidates that you can choose from tonight. For instance, Jack Fellier is the presidential candidate for the oldest third party in U.S. history, the Prohibition Party, whose platform continues to focus on the prohibition of alcohol. And, well, if you're not a person who likes to stick around with the party scene, maybe this is the party for you. In 2008, the Prohibition Party received a whopping 630 votes in the great United States, and they held their 2012 party convention at the Cullman, Alabama Holiday Inn Express. My, oh my, the Prohibition Party has come a long way. And another political party in the running is the Pirate Party. Now, I'm not kidding on this one, nor the other one, but this is a party where there's no loot and treasure. However, they do have an elected captain by the name of Travis McCray. The other party platform supports intellectual property and the right for free usage. Now, McCray is not a presidential candidate, but feel free to write him in if you want to. And finally, we have the Peace and Freedom Party, and the party is devoted to socialism, democracy, racial equality, feminism, and the working class. The 2012 presidential nominee for the Peace and Freedom Party is actress, comedian, and winner of the worst rendition of the national anthem. Put your hands together for Roseanne Barr. I'm not kidding. She's actually a candidate for this party. Now, I couldn't believe it myself, but then again, Mickey Mouse is apparently the most popular write-in candidate, so anything goes, I suppose. We now turn it on over to Mr. Kevin Landgraf, who is standing in a voting center right here in the heart of Youngstown, Ohio. Kevin?
That's right, Kevin. I'm standing here in this fine voting field where the Ohioans are coming out soon, hopefully.
And what is the voter turnout looking like there in Ohio, Kevin?
Not good, Kevin. Nobody's come yet.
As in nobody at all has come out to vote in the state of Ohio?
That's right, Kevin.
Well, then if the presidency ends up being a tie with no votes, either way, what happens in that scenario, Kevin?
Well, it just so happens, Kevin, that they bring out George Washington's sword and Abe Lincoln's axe, give it to the candidates, throw them into the Oval Office, and see who emerges victor.
All I can say is the great people of this nation should wish for a tie more often.
Agreed. It'd be more badass than FDR's games of Marco Polio. Hold on there for a second, Kevin. Breaking news here. I'm getting word that Barack Obama is now projected the winner in Ohio with 100% of the vote.
How many votes have been counted so far, Kevin?
That would be 1 vote, Kevin. 1 vote.
And the polls close in 2 minutes over there in Ohio? Am I correct, Kevin?
10-4, rubber ducky.
Well then, Kevin, you are from Ohio. If you wanted that duel.
My thought exactly, Kevin. Thank you.
No, thank you, Kevin. And when we return, we will be joined by Marco with the weather. Don't go anywhere. He's not here? Well, where is he?
Friends, electing the goon who is going to run this country should not be like choosing between 2 piles of dog turds and having to decide which one smells better. Did you watch the debates? I did. And you know what I saw? What happened was Romney would walk up and he would thank the hosting college, and then he would walk over to Obama, drop his pants, cop a squat, and poop right on the president's shoe. And the moderator would say, "Why did you do that?" And Mitt would respond, "Well, I didn't do that. The president did that. The president crapped on his own shoe and didn't tell America about it." And how did Obama respond? He stood there and listened to him, and then he took off his shoe and he sniffed it, and then he put it back on and threw up all over the place. And have you seen the vice presidents? Have you seen them? On the one hand, there's Ryan with his combed forward widow's peak, who told him that was a good look. And seriously, could he be any less specific? I think the only person I've ever heard be more vague is my Jewish uncle. I don't even know where he's from. Every time I would ask him where, he'd pull out a map and wave his hands in the Western Hemisphere and say, "Oh, it's right around here, boobala." And people ask Ryan what him and Romney are going to do for the economy, and he's running around like, "Well, we're going to make it better." And then they ask, "Could you be more specific?" "No." And then you look at Biden, and you realize he's running on sort of a lean mixture himself. He's a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. The cheese fell off his cracker a long time ago. How does he prepare for a debate? It's like he goes to the gym and does free weights while somebody waxes him. He's entirely hairless. Have you realized that? And then he washes down 4 Percocet with a pack of Red Bull. He's like the crazy uncle on a new medication who hasn't quite got the dosage right. I get the feeling that with Biden, more than once, Obama has had to send him home from a cabinet meeting because he blew in wearing flip-flops and a Speedo yelling, "There's not even a cabinet in here." And with Obama, you want to like him. He stands for change. It's what he promised us from the beginning. And there has been some progress, but when you promise me waffles and give me a peanut, I get a little upset. And speaking of breakfast pastry, Romney's got a few more flip-flops than a house of pancakes, and he seems to view the presidency as a big game of Monopoly. He's turning it into either you're with us or against us kind of thing, and only a Sith deals in absolutes.
So Marco, please tell me, what did you vote for?
I didn't vote for either of them. I think they both need to be taken, Democrats and Republicans, Romney and Obama, Biden and Ryan, brought to the middle and beaten as equals.
And we'll turn it on over to Zach.
Hey, this is Zach, and welcome to Sports. You may not realize it, but just by looking at the sports from the past 2 weeks, we can help predict the winner of the presidential election. We start off with baseball news as the San Francisco Giants beat the Detroit Tigers in the World Series. Not only did the Giants beat the Tigers, they crushed the Tigers, making the Tigers look more like house cats in the series. You know, the ones that just scratch you and hide in fear when really all you want to do is love them. We all know what San Francisco is known for: hippies, environment-loving hippies, and they're all celebrating their city's World Series win. And don't be surprised if they show up big at the election poll. Therefore, I predict that the state of California will be going to Dr. Jill Stein, who is the presidential candidate for the Green Party. So the Green Party is off to a fast start with 55 electoral votes. With more baseball news, the Baltimore Orioles second baseman Ryan Adams was suspended for using a banned amphetamine. First of all, who gets caught for using a banned substance in the offseason? I mean, really, what are you trying to do? Make sure that you pitch well on your son's Little League team until next April rolls around and baseball season begins? Well, Baltimore fans are disgusted by their second baseman and will be demanding justice over this issue, which is why the state of Maryland is going to the Justice Party's former Salt Lake City mayor and Justice Party presidential nominee, Rocky Anderson, as Orioles fans demand justice for this use of banned amphetamines in baseball players. So the Justice Party now has 10 electoral votes. And now on over to football, as on last Thursday Night Football, the Chargers opened up a can of "You suck" on the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, did you see that game? The Chiefs looked like grocery store employees that were just going in to get their paycheck. They didn't care about the amount of work they put in. They just had to show up, pretend like they were putting in some effort, and then walk away with a paycheck. Now the Chiefs fans will be crying for a reform of their team, as this team looks very pitiful this season, and Chiefs will therefore head to the polls and vote for Andre Barnett, the presidential campaign for the Reform Party. That means that the 10 electoral votes in Missouri will be going to the Reform Party. And does anyone find it strange that both the Kansas City Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs play in Kansas City, Missouri? Why are there 2 Kansas cities in the United States? And why are there 2 Kansas cities if we have a state named Kansas? And why is the Kansas City in Missouri actually bigger than the Kansas City that is in Kansas? Well, research shows that the people in Kansas are actually really pissed off about this and want the Kansas City in Missouri to change its name to something like, I don't know, Missouri City. Well, the Objectivist Party is promising to do just that, and I predict that the state of Kansas will be voting for Tom Stevens, the Objectivist Party's presidential nominee. So the Objectivist Party is now getting 6 electoral votes. So now, with all this in mind, I think we can now clearly narrow down the playing field to 2 presidential candidates. It's down to the Green Party and the Justice Party. This one may actually be too close to call. Expect voters to look at their sports teams and ask themselves, do you think that their sports venue is not recycling as much as they should be? Or are the teams playing like a bunch of wussies and need a lesson from the Justice Party? Once voters answer that question, I'm sure we will know who our next president of the United States will be. And finally, I have this week's Sport of the Week named, Huh? In which players think of presidential candidates that have lost in the past. Once a player yells a loser out, they must run around a high school track quarter mile. While they are running around the track, the next player on their team must think of another presidential candidate from the past that has lost and has not been repeated. Once they successfully do so, they must wait for their teammate that is currently running the quarter mile, and then they run their quarter mile, and so on and so forth. Whichever team has all their players name a loser and run a quarter mile first, well, they win. This is a fun game for the whole family, and you're sure to get a kick out of it. It makes no sense, and players often get confused because the rule book is actually bigger than a full edition of a thesaurus, which is why the game is fittingly called, Huh? Anyway, back to you, Kevin.
Always giving us good games. Thank you very much, Zach. When we return, we'll be back with Trayvon and Gilberto. Stay with us. We've got the final debate of the 2012 election right here for you with the governor and the president himself. Put the kids to bed, guys, because it's about to get ugly.
Hello, and tonight we have President Obama and Governor Romney for a special interview that could make or break the election. We'll start right away with the first question for President Obama. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
How do you feel about the current rumors addressing the recent plastic surgery to reduce the size of your ears?
I believe God made us exactly who we are and who we're supposed to be and look like. I mean, I'm not denouncing plastic surgery because it gave us icons like Nicki Minaj, but no, I didn't change my ears.
Mr. Obama, you have beautiful ears.
Thank you, Gilberto.
Mr. R. Money, how do you respond to the comparisons of yourself and the mayor of Whoville?
Firstly, I highly object to being called Mitt Romney, R. Money, on national television, because I worked very hard for every million I've made and will not stop until every upper-class citizen experiences the joys of life, like flying to Cancun or having brunch with Clint Eastwood like me. And the picture looks about right.
Excellent. The following question may be the deciding factor of the election. It is open to whoever wishes to answer. The American people want to know, what will happen to Big Bird under your presidency if elected?
Big Bird and his street thug friends are done corrupting our society with things like teaching the alphabet and helping our children count.
Nobody cares. Mr. Obama, the college students of America are worried they won't have a job after they graduate. What is your favorite color and why?
Blue. And because the water in Hawaii is blue. Because that is where I was born.
Our money. If the deficit continues to be well under the limit, how can you as president fix it as well as fix the unemployment rates that went so well under with the Bush administration?
Well, after I graduated from Harvard, I made sure that I was going to be rich so that I could have 3 maids in the house to cook my food, clean my clothes, and tend to my children when my wife and I left for 6 months on vacations every year. And if America realizes it's the poor class instead of Texas, then that's how they created the plot of Dark Knight Rises.
Mr. President, when you go out for your walks, do you take in your surroundings? Do you love America? And what is your favorite kind of pie?
Excellent question, Gilberto. While walking, I sometimes look at the little birds who fly at the highest branch of the tree and realize That's what America has to do. Go to the upper class, tax, tax, tax. But I love America and apple pie, of course.
Mr. Romney, in differential geometry, the Atiyah-Singer index theorem proved by Michael Atiyah and Isidore Singer in 1963 states that for an elliptical differential operator on a compact manifold, the analytical index related to the dimensions of the space of solutions is equal to what kind of index?
I'm rich.
Okay, Mr. President, the American people need to know. What is 2 plus 2?
1. Because we will move forward as one unit, one class, and one America.
I couldn't have said it better myself, President Obama.
That's quite unfair.
You will wait your turn, or I will have you out of here faster than you can say, if I win the lower class and working class is screwed. Now, because this interviewing process has left the American population wondering who they should vote for, the people have spoken and have decided that the final question is needed to help decipher who should be the next president of the United States of America. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100.
Well, I'm going to go with 85.
Ooh, so close. Mr. President, your turn to steal.
Well, Gilberto, I'll go with 3. Because there are 3 beautiful women in my unit. Sasha, Malia, and my ebony queen, Michelle.
Yes, 3 is correct, Mr. President. Good luck on your campaign. Well, there you have it, America. The best interview since Oprah's chapter with Rihanna. I'm Gilberto, and now back to Kevin.
I'm Kevin Ellis. Get out and vote. No, we need you to. I'll open for a tie because I want to see a duel. You guys have a great November 6th. Take care.